It's said that the poor spend money, the middle class save money, and the rich, well, they invest their money. And then there's one more class, the wealthy. They give their money away. So what is it about these mentalities that we can learn from? I'll go sequentially, because it's something that I'm intrigued by, and I've been considering the definition of power in my own life for a number of years, because I believe that with the things that I've been given, the incredible opportunities that I've been given in my life, that I should get to a position where I can be wealthy and I can give as much as possible. One of my practice management professors in dental school said, "No money, no mission." And a lot of you watching this might be thinking to yourself, what the heck? Compared to the emotional intelligence talk that you're talking about, what does money have to do with anything? Well, money is essentially the way that our modern society determines how much we've achieved in our life, right? Our level of prowess, our level of power in our society. So I figured I'd talk about it because I think it has a lot to do with our mental state, right? If we don't have the money, if we don't have the time, the freedom to go and express ourselves in a proper way, a lot of the things that we want to do in life and a lot of our potential for affecting people in society will be dwindled. So let me break this down. So it says the poor spend money. So how can I relate this to a philosophy in life? The way that I see it is, if people don't know where they want to go, if people don't know generally the people that they want to be surrounded by, the lifestyle that they want to live, if they've never thought about it or never had the opportunity to think about it, then we are necessarily just going to keep on doing things that we don't know or is going to benefit our future selves or is even something that's actually potentially beneficial for us right now. So to me, the poor mentality is one of not being future oriented, one of thinking to ourselves that we are here and now and this is all that matters, and not setting our future selves up for success. Some of the people that I value the most in life tend to be the people that put aside a lot of hours of not necessarily doing the things that they wanted to do in that moment in order to set themselves up for a situation in the future that they will be satisfied with, and that might be potentially a little bit easier for them to manage. Now, the middle class, where, in fact, what I've found out recently, a lot of doctors dwell, a lot of lawyers, a lot of people that have white-collar jobs actually assume that they're putting in all this work to become a part of the higher, more powerful class in society. But when you go and do the research, when you go and actually dig through the brains, the biographies of the ultra-rich, the wealthy, you realize that the middle class mentality of saving is actually what holds people back a lot of the time. And this has been something that I have encountered recently because I have the luxury of having funding, right, in the background. I have a parent that's willing to put up with all of my bullshit so that I can spend the time to educate myself and become as powerful, or more powerful probably, than they anticipate me becoming. Now, the mentality of saving to me is a mentality of famine, essentially, right? That there is only so many resources in the world and that only so much of it can be accessed at a time without getting to a situation where we cannot preserve our lifestyle, we cannot preserve the relationships that we're trying to build, all of the prowess that we have accumulated in our life has led to this moment, and now we need to save in order to stay in this moment, rather than potentially forethought, something bigger and better. Now, related to the philosophy of a normal life, the philosophy of saving to me comes down to not necessarily valuing the importance of new opportunities, new perspectives. And it's said to us in graduate school that we should be students for life. And this is something that I didn't quite ingrain into my head until about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, when I started realizing that a lot of the time that I've spent with my friends, a lot of the time that I spend alone is actually not all that productive in terms of really getting me where I think I want to be. Now, I'll give you some background. In my post-bac year in dental school, our assistant dean had us write down on some postcards what our goals are. Where do we want to be in 4 years? Now, this was a brilliant thing to do for young people to have us think more about progressively getting towards our goals. Something that when I am in a position to teach more than just, make these YouTube videos, I will be stressing a lot to the people that are willing to learn from me. Essentially, setting a goal in the future will allow us, as I say in a lot of my videos, will allow us to say, hey, are we spending our time as best as we can right now? Okay, so a mentality of saving. A mentality of saving is going to keep us where we're at. Now, the middle class is the backbone in a lot of ways for America, for a lot of societies in the world. And it's good to have this solid backbone, and it's also very likely that we'll fall into this position mainly because it is not taught in our education system how to continually grow. In fact, most of the time it's taught how do we get to the next step, and the last step being having our job and our family. No steps beyond that. No education necessarily about finances, and no education necessarily about living a satisfying life and allowing our souls to really transcend some of the norms, some of the agreements put into place by our parents, potentially our society, potentially things that we're exposed to on social media. So a mentality of saving will always keep us where we're at. Now, a mentality of investing gets us to the next level, apparently. When I get there, I'm pretty sure these words will ring true again. Investing means spending our time and our resources in something that will give back in the future. And this is the mentality that I talked about earlier, to set our future selves up for success. Now, from what I've heard from all the people that I respect and all the people that have gotten to the level that I want to get to in my life, investing in ourselves is the most important thing. Because the resource of our brain, the resource of our thought, our ideologies, is actually one of the most coveted resources on the planet. In fact, most of the jobs that pay multiple thousands of dollars in the six figures are jobs that require significant amount of thought, foresight. And for us to get to that level, for me and you to get to that level, we need to constantly be thinking about ways to improve ourselves, the way that we think, the efficiency of our actions, our routine, the things that are holding us back, essentially, from potentially reaching this goal, if that is a goal of yours or mine. So this investment, this constant investment, so many people shy away from spending $1,000 on a class that might benefit them, thinking to themselves that despite this class consistently providing great education for all the people that have participated in before, thinking that this class will not benefit me because I don't necessarily have the inner drive or the ability to utilize these resources, this information. So I think a very important part of investing in ourselves, besides just knowing why we're doing it, where we want to go, is also thinking to ourselves that the resources that are available to us, a lot like the education that we go through, are actually going to be utilized in an efficient manner to help us get to our goals. In other words, how do we use an opportunity? How do we use the amount of money that we spend on something to actually better ourselves, rather than just sitting monotonously through a course or through a degree, a certification? That, I think, is one of the more important steps in terms of investing. Really knowing and having a belief in ourselves that we can use this investment to further put out, to increase our value in society, right? Now, the last one is wealth. And I heard Grant Cardone define it as wellness, well, being good, and health. So being well off, monetarily, but also having a healthy soul and a healthy body in order to persist, allow us to maintain in this kind of difficult life. So the wealthy, apparently, and from what I've been seeing a lot, so I'm fairly certain this is actually a necessary part of becoming wealthy, is over-delivering. This concept that I think is missed by the middle class, and oftentimes actually the rich people, is saying to ourselves that, hey, there is a job to do. We have a job definition, titles, all the things, all the lists that we need to do. And oftentimes we stick to that list, and most people will only get to that level and then say, listen, I've done what I need to do, I'm out of here. The wealthy have consistently practiced over-delivering, meaning that beyond their job description, they consistently go above and beyond. They're promoted quicker, they are given respect by their bosses because they have great ideas. But not only do they have the ideas, they also end up capitalizing on them, making it so that regardless of their situation in life, that their obligation, their responsibility to what they're expected to do is actually a part of their prowess on this planet, is actually a part of loving themselves. And this is the point that I really want to get to in life. This is the point where I believe I'll be able to say to myself, not only am I spending so much time and energy, probably more than other people, on trying to, most other people, in trying to build up my resources and also give, but I know that spending this time and energy is also good for me. I know that the compassion that I show, the over-delivering that I'm going to attempt to do, and hopefully I do now, is a testament to my character. And I wanted to end the video here just saying that, listen, in any of these places that you want to go in life, right, there are certain agreements that we're going to have to break with ourselves to get to the next level. There are certain things that we're just going to have to change. And sometimes life has a beautiful way of forcing us to change, making it very difficult for us to maintain the way that we are. But I think a lot of the time, life doesn't necessarily give us those beautiful chances, those wake-up calls. And I think it's very important to consistently think to ourselves, hey, what are the achievements that I had today? What are the things that I failed at? And how can I improve tomorrow? Right? And doing it with a sense of love for yourself. Saying, okay, fine, I've had a hard time, I've had this and that come up, and potentially this could have altered my sensibilities, my ability to basically the most productive possible that I could have been today, or the most, people say that it's a fluctuation. Consistency is very difficult because we wake up in different circumstances, we have things that come up that are out of the norm, and that could fluctuate our literal ability to go forth and accomplish those tasks. But more than anything, I think hopefully the takeaway from this video is that there are mentalities, there are philosophies that we need to adopt in order to transcend the level that we're at in society currently. And this is surely, it's a monetary thing that I'm talking about, but I think all of these different classes also have completely different spiritual experiences. I think they have completely different social experiences, and really just the novelty of their life, the freedom that they have is completely different. So, food for thought. This is a video I made the other day about trying to go out and do things that are good for our souls so that we can be like those leaders like Teddy Roosevelt and the other presidents and the philosophers that walked around the woods and thought to themselves, hey, perhaps I have some ideas that need to be expressed in society to make it a little bit better. So go check it out. If you're interested in this type of thing, if you made it all the way to the end, smash that like button for me. Throw me a comment, a question. I'd love to hear them. And again, as always, actualize your potential, my friend. We need you. Take care.